All right, just settling in here. Couple minutes early. I'm gonna give about 5 minutes. About 4 or 5 minutes. See, because I noticed there's a pattern. Like there's a few people. They start showing up around 4 or 5 minutes, and hopefully we could get a few people in here. I can see there's already one. So in the meantime, I'm gonna talk about random stuff for a couple of minutes. I just really liked the interview I did today. The host was absolutely fantastic. Very wonderful lady. And I really feel blessed, that I could share my story and that I have such a story to share. I noticed like every time after these interviews, I feel like this almost like overwhelming sense of fulfillment. Like I know that what I said is gonna, affect people hopefully in a positive way, which is a really awesome feeling. If there's ever a purpose to my existence here, that might be it. Um, yeah, okay, it looks like it's 8 o'clock right now, I believe. So, yeah, there's two people here now. So, if there's any way you guys, I mean, you don't have to chat if you don't want, but definitely be nice to know if I know who you are or not. If not, then whatever. We're going to talk about a crazy dream I had last night, but later on. Oh, hey, Trish, how you doing? Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for coming on. Very, very interesting dream. That will be after a little bit later. The first dream I'm going to discuss is one that's like burned into my mind. There's a handful of dreams that are really ingrained into my mind, and this is one of them. This would be, hey, Nigel, how you doing? Thank you for coming. So there are various dreams like that. This one was more of an out-of-body experience. And there are gradients to out-of-body experiences, by the way. And I truly believe that. And what I mean by that is that you could have, a portion of your awareness exit your body. And, every dream is at least a portion. And you could have like different levels, or you could have the entirety of your spirit body exit. I've only had a few occasions other than my near-death experience. Probably like maybe a total of 7 times where I would say that I've had a total out-of-body experience, where my consciousness was completely out. And the majority of those times, I was literally just in my room and wasn't able to leave. And it was just like really short, random, kind of crappy stuff like that. There were some interesting ones too. I would see like I've had one where I saw this really strange like female like creature. That really freaked me out. I don't even want to get into that one. Hey, Infinite Corridors, what's happening? I'm going to talk about this crazy dream that was one of the first ones I shared on this channel that I'm sure most of the newer people don't know about. And it's really unique in that it's kind of like the movie Inception. And I apologize if it's going to get a bit loud right now. Oh my God, and even Matt is here. Isn't that lovely? Matt, we're going to hang out soon. Okay. So, yeah, like it was basically like a dream within a dream. I've had a few of those as well. And while I discuss it, if you guys want to bring something up, what you think about dreams, what your opinion is on what they are, how they, pertain to your own development, or how you interpret them, because everyone has a bit of a unique interpretation. And maybe, if you have a dream you want to share in couple of sentences, that'd be cool too. So I'm just gonna get into it now because there's 7 people here. So this dream, what even reminded me about it to begin with was the Wooden Faces dream I just talked about recently. And it reminded me of wood in general, and I see wood very frequently in my dreams. Very, very frequently. I'll get to the chat in just a second. And these, and by what I mean by wood is wooden cabins, forests, things related to that. And what made this really special and interesting is that I was in this absolutely astonishingly beautiful city. It was, I can only describe it as like skyscrapers made of wood. And it kind of looked like redwood. And not only was it the skyscrapers, the entire place looked like it was, and these buildings were extremely tall, by the way. And they looked like they had this shiny rose, like this shiny, and like it was immaculate and beautiful. I mean, these were such beautiful skyscrapers. I've never seen anything like it. And all right, let me get to the chat real quick and I'll keep going. Mental says glimpses of the real world are what I dream of. Yes, they're talking about Russia going to war. The stock market crash, crazy times. Yes, that is true. I think 2022 will be the year. I think I was thinking it was 2024, but I think it's going to be sooner now. And Infinite Corridor says, we have at least hundreds, if not several thousands, of parallel versions of ourselves. Exactly. That is exactly what I think most of our dreams are. In alternate worlds, we could access through dreams and lucid dreams. Exact same opinion. Yes, you got it. And Matt says dreams are unresolved psychological gaming, consolidation of information, and our shared collective super unconsciousness. Ooh, I like that, Matt. Also definitely true. Infinite Quarter says we can learn to consciously phase shift into your secondary focal point of consciousness through meditation and visualization. These other worlds are often more vivid and real than this place. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I've seen some extraordinarily beautiful places, things that like wouldn't even compare to even the most beautiful places here. And so this would probably be one of them. And so the layout of the city didn't resemble what, like, even though there were skyscrapers, it didn't resemble what you would like normally think of as a city. And this is where I would have trouble describing how the layout was. But I didn't see any cars. I didn't see any streets. Nothing like that at all. Just like massive like plazas. And everything made of this like wooden, like it looked like wood. I don't know 100% if it was wood. It looked like wood, and there was this red, this really shiny red, beautiful color. And there was the glass too. It wasn't just the wood. The glass itself was stunningly beautiful. So it was wood and glass. And there are these massive plazas, and there was huge gatherings of very human, normal-looking people. And it was just an absolutely lovely place. So for whatever reason, I found myself at one of the top floors of one of these skyscrapers. And I don't know what happened next, whether I fell off or I jumped off, but I actually leapt off the building, and I fell to the ground. And I died. I left my body in that state, meaning in the dream, I left my body, and I was walking around the city as like in third person, like as a ghost, basically. And so that's why what I meant by the movie Inception was it kind of became a dream within a dream in that sense, because now it was a soul in this place. And I'm walking around. I'll get to the chat in just a second. And I'm trying to speak to people, and nobody's talking to me. I can't get anyone's attention. I'm like trying to grab them, nothing happens. And I see my brother and mom, who are my brother and mom in this life too. And I try to get their attention, my mom, and they were sad. So I saw what looked like maybe a funeral, I guess I would describe it. And my mom was really sad. And so I got my brother's attention though. So he was able to see my spirit basically. And I kind of started like basically communicating messages through him so that he could tell my mom. And it was just this, it was so bizarre. And basically, that was kind of like the end. I mean, it felt much longer than that. Like, it felt like this dream was ongoing for frickin' forever. And I'm absolutely convinced that my focal point of consciousness actually relived a dying experience of another avatar of myself, you know, in another reality, which is absolutely extraordinary to experience. Whether now, now I kind of want to incarnate into that version of myself too. So VRE Boat says, yeah, bro. One time I dreamed that I was in the future wasteland with neon lights and hoverboards. Then I was in a mothership. The freaking chat keeps disappearing. Come on. Uh-oh. Don't tell me. Okay. And then I was in a mothership and they had these small sleeping chambers tucked into a wall. Whoa. That is super interesting. Yeah, the whole sleeping chamber. I've seen stuff like that in dreams as well. Reminds me of the book Lincoln in the Bardo. People didn't know they were dead. Oh yeah, that's the thing, you know, like I'm sure this isn't, I mean, I believe that is like the conventional explanation for not all ghost sightings, but you know, quite a few of them. I really do think that a certain percentage of souls just, for whatever reason, like don't understand or know that they died, and they're literally just wandering around here, and like they're trying to talk to people, and that absolutely does happen here. I think it happens everywhere. I think it's universal, and I don't think it's by accident either. Just so, like, I don't think there is a mistake made that this happened to them. I think for whatever reason, their soul wanted to experience that. But that's just my opinion. Okay, Tunnel Mental said, I had a dream of a cityscape. If this chat, I had a dream of a cityscape. Skyscrapers resembled downtown Los Angeles. Then the sky started to sink into a perfectly shaped holes. Appeared, and I watched the cityscape plug into darkness. Whoa, that's pretty epic. I like that, Nigel. That is really cool. So let's get to the last night's dream. And before I even get into last night's dream, I got to talk about snakes in general, like the species of snakes, because I saw them in my dream again. And not only have I been seeing them a lot in my dreams over the last 2 years, I've been seeing snakes in general, like much more often in the wild than normal. So it used to be exceptionally rare for me to see a snake anywhere outside. Like literally before like 2 years ago. Oh, by the way, I don't know what the hell happened there. I just got booted off. Like, I don't know why this happens every time. Okay. I hope you guys can still hear me, though. Okay, so yeah, it was pretty rare for me to see a snake. Like, literally the last time I saw a snake before about 2 years ago was probably like 12 years ago. Like, I was hiking in the desert near Tucson, Arizona, and I almost stepped on this massive diamondback rattlesnake. And after that, the last time I saw a snake was like It started about 2 years ago. So, like in the last 2 years, I've seen snakes in the wild probably 5 times. When before that, I saw one snake maybe, like over many, many years. So, and then I have snakes in the dreams. I've had over the past year probably 10 different dreams with snakes. Infinite Quarter says, just the other night, I phased into a parallel version of myself where the world was much more vivid and brighter and higher vibration. I woke up for an hour, went back to sleep, right back. Oh, I love that. I love that because, yeah, I've had, and so much more liberated being in such a, high vibe place because I have memories like that too, where you feel like so at peace and in tune and you just don't want to leave. And then you come you come here back and it's almost like this massive weight just like crushes you down like the moment you come. I mean, at least that's for me. I mean, I'm not saying that's like that for everybody, but that's how I feel. Like this place is very heavy. This planet is extremely heavy. It's extremely dense. It's extremely gnarly. Um, so yeah, so let's get to the second dream now. Okay, last night, um, I was again this in a city again, and this city was really gritty, really dark, and it really reminded me of not necessarily San Francisco, but like Oakland, kind of even more like a crappier version of Oakland, if you can imagine that for anybody who's been there. And except it was different though. The hills were even steeper, extremely steep hills. And I was with my cousins, my cousins that are here, like they live here, and which is funny because my uncle, who's their father and aunt, came to visit us yesterday, and I haven't seen them in quite a few years. That might be one of the reasons why I saw them in a dream to begin with. But we were like just sitting somewhere, and I'm just, hey, I'm bored. I'm like, I kept telling them, I'm bored. Let's do something. We're just sitting around. Let's go for a walk or something. And so we did. And this place was so steep, like the streets had staircases everywhere. So we would just go up and down these stairs, up and down what like felt like forever. And then we came to like some plaza or something and started talking to some people. And like just out of nowhere, these two snakes, one of them just like lunged at me and bit my back, my upper right back, and the other one bit my ankle. And those sensations were super vivid and real, by the way. Um, and I kind of turned around and I saw them, and they just kind of slithered away really quickly. And I told my cousin, I'm like, hey, these snakes just bit me. They just bit me. And they were just like almost unfazed by it. Like, oh, damn, okay. And I'm like, hey, like, they just bit me. I need some help. And they're like, oh, okay, we'll find a hospital. Like, they're just really kind of like didn't give a crap at all. But so we started walking. We started walking looking for a hospital or something, right? And I started getting really sick and in a lot of pain. Those snake bites, I started feeling like my skin was burning where the bites were. And I started feeling really nauseous and dizzy. And I'm like, hey, man, we got to hurry up. I don't think this is good. And these, by the way, really felt like really vivid and real conversations too. So we go to a hospital, we find one, and I go in, and another person that I'm familiar with online, that I know on the internet, but not in real person, he was there, and he was like the doctor. And I'm like, hey, I just had these snakes bite me. I need help. And he like looked me straight in the eye with like this bug-eyed look, and he's like, we don't have any anti-venom here, but we can take you somewhere that does have it. And like at that moment, like my heart just sank. I'm like, we need to do something. He's like, we don't have any anti-venom. And I'm like, that was basically the end. Like, I pretty much woke up after that. Trippy though. I mean, come on. Like, who is trying to bite me all the time? Who is trying to bite me? So Tunnel Mental says geographical anomalies. Your relatives from Tucson, where you almost stepped on the Diamondback. Yeah, I mean, Arizona in general is just incredibly strange with lots of. There's a lot of the whole place is an anomaly. You got Sedona there. You have the Phoenix Lights in 97. Infinite Corridor says, I'm mostly convinced that whenever any version of us dies in a given reality, that aspect of our consciousness shifts into its own parallel version of reality and continues living. Yeah, I heard about quantum immortality. Yeah, I think that can be true. Yeah, in certain situations. I think it just depends on the soul. It depends on the soul's growth process, whatever that soul is trying to achieve. As for me, the first thing I'm doing when I'm dying, I'm going straight back to my favorite place, which is the source. And by the way, the reminder about that. So yeah, if anybody's interested in seeing that interview on Saturday, I guess she's gonna have a live chat when she premieres it. So just a reminder at 2:00 on Saturday if anybody's around. Yeah, that'd be cool. All right. So anybody got any insights on that dream? Definitely kind of concerning. We have all these snakes. Like some people think snakes represent Kundalini. Some people think, that it's some kind of dark forces, malevolent forces attacking me. I'm like, I'm open to anything. I'm like, okay, sure. Could be either or. It could be both for all I know. I mean, it's just, I don't know. There are infinite versions of ourselves on infinite timelines. We access only a few. There has to be, because, existence is eternal. I mean, they're just infinite variables. There's infinite variations. It's like a mosaic that never ends. It's crazy to think about, though. Like it almost like your brain just wants to explode thinking about it. I'll definitely watch. My mother always said a snake represented an enemy. I wouldn't be shocked. I literally feel like I've been attacked spiritually my entire life. Like, something's always trying to tear me apart. So there's nothing shocking to me about that. Like, that something else is trying to get to me. But, I know who I am as a soul. So I'll try to, I don't know. I think it's still interesting. It's still fascinating that it's happening, though, because there's a purpose for it. There's a reason for it. There's a learning process going on, so it's not for no reason. The stairs on the slippery slope. Yeah, stairs in general have a lot of symbolism. Stairway to heaven. What do you call it? Jacob's ladder, that's basically like a staircase as well, if you think about it. Masonic staircase. There's staircases in mythology, staircases all over the place. All right, guys. Well, anybody want to share anything else? Otherwise, I'll go in about 5 minutes. I think half an hour is pretty good. Oh, yeah, I was hoping you would be here. Thank you for showing up. I'm almost done, though. But you've been listening, though. That's good. Awesome. You were bit on your foot and shoulder? Yes, that's correct. If you have any insights on that, I would love to hear very much. So I remember that very specifically, too, that it was on the foot and shoulder. or ankle. It was even more specific to the ankle. So I was comparing it to snakes and ladders in your dream. Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't think, snakes are necessarily evil for sure. Achilles heel. Yes, Achilles heel. Um, so are they trying to get to my weak spot? I mean, a snake could also be some kind of astrological symbol as well. I mean, Draco, if when I think of a dragon, I actually kind of think of it as a snake too. They're sort of a similar species. Hey, John, what's happening? Medusa turned men into stone. Yeah, that was the previous dream, right? So that was the dream the other night. So kind of concerning. So I have this stone phase dream, and then I have the snake dream, and it's like, oh, dude, what's going on here? I'm not gonna sit here and be worried about it though. Like I'm not. Yeah, it's crazy to think about though. I would still rather have, concerning dreams or distressing dreams than no dreams at all though, because I just love exploring. I just love exploring. It's just in my nature. I just have this yearning and this drive to I don't know, explore consciousness. I don't know, I just can't. I can't tie myself down to this place. I need more. Like, it's. Oh, is that who I? Oh, guys. All right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to go actually because my manager showed up, so I'm gonna have to go. But I think that was a good run. What was your feeling from this dream? My feeling was like I was trying to find. I was trying to find something. Like it was a distressing feeling, um, but it was kind of not a bad distressing. Like okay, like especially when I saw that doctor, I felt like he gave me hope. I don't know. He had a good vibe to him. And this person that I know online, I do feel like he has a good vibe too. So overall, I would say that the dream had a positive message. Hey, I'm just live right now. I'm about to cut off in a second though. Thank you for sharing your stories and thank you. Love you too, Nigel. Yeah, and Theology 71. I thank you for showing up. Really appreciate it. Have a good night, guys. And this should be uploaded tomorrow. Oh no, where did it go? There we go. Solar. Okay, hold on. Wait. Solar eclipse is Friday. The astrologers are going nuts talking about it. I wonder if there's a connection. I'll think about that. All right, thank you, guys.